What made you take 20 pregnancy tests? At 22, I was still a virgin. So when exhaustion and nausea hit during finals week, I blamed coffee and cheap takeout. Then the ultrasound technician said, 8 weeks pregnant, and showed me a heartbeat I couldn't explain. I laughed, told her there'd been a mistake. The doctor's expression shifted from routine to alarmed as she ordered immediate testing. Every result came back normal. Hormone levels, thyroid, everything perfectly consistent with pregnancy. My mom's voice turned cold when I told her. Just tell us who the father is, she said, in that disappointed tone reserved for actual lies. My boyfriend went from supportive to suspicious, asking if maybe I'd blacked out at some party I never attended. I started recording myself sleeping, convinced I was doing something I couldn't remember. Still nothing. The police opened an investigation after I begged them. Toxicology came back clean. They ran DNA on the fetus, but the lab called it corrupted, then inconclusive, then finally admitted they'd never seen results like this. Couldn't even confirm it was fully human DNA. My employer suggested unpaid leave because clients were uncomfortable. I was left with no income and mounting medical bills. Then a stranger walked up to our table at a cafe. I'm the father of your child, he recited, describing a party I'd never been to, clothes I'd never worn. My boyfriend screamed that I was either a liar or insane before walking out. Social services launched an investigation into my fitness as a mother. The caseworker's notes used words like delusional and potential harm to child, 7 months pregnant, living on savings. When I pushed her out, she looked completely normal. 10 fingers, 10 toes, healthy cry. It somehow made everything worse because there was still no explanation. My dad showed up at the hospital 2 hours later, avoiding eye contact. She deserves family, he said, and moved into my studio apartment to help. At 6 weeks postpartum, I found him staring at the baby. She has your grandfather's eyes, he said. Except my grandfather died before I was born and I'd never seen photos. He caught himself immediately, but something in his voice made my skin crawl. The next morning, I heard him whispering on the phone. I told you never to contact me. He hung up when he saw me. Who was that? My voice shook. And what did you mean about Grandpa's eyes? He picked up the baby, hands trembling. You misheard me, honey. No, Dad. You said grandfather. His eyes darted away. You're tired. Maybe you should rest. Something inside me snapped. You have one chance. Tell me everything or you need to leave. He sank onto the couch, tears rolling down his face. I can't tell you everything yet, but I swear I'm trying to protect you both. There are things about our family you don't know. I contacted legal aid, documented everything, started recording conversations. 3 days later, he said it again. She really does have your grandfather's nose too. I searched everywhere for photos he claimed existed. Nothing. Just an obituary from 32 years ago with no picture. Then the baby spiked a fever. At the hospital, residents whispered about corrupted DNA results outside our door. A genetic counselor named Gianna explained they wanted more testing, mentioned something called chimerism. She was the first person who treated me like an actual human being instead of a science experiment. The social worker kept circling, writing notes about ongoing concerns and unusual circumstances. 2 weeks later, certified mail arrived. DNA results. I tore it open, hands shaking. Paternity probability, 99.9% matched to Patrick James Sullivan, my ex-boyfriend Patty. My brain couldn't process it. We'd never had sex. Not once. I called Gianna immediately. She explained that pre-ejaculate during intimate contact could rarely cause pregnancy. 1 in a million rare, but documented. Splash conception, she called it. Every accusation, every abandoned relationship, every investigation, all because of biology so unlikely it looked impossible. The lab contamination hadn't helped, making normal DNA look corrupted. I forwarded the results to Patty's lawyer. Within days, he agreed to child support and apologized for not believing me. The social worker closed my case with an actual smile. My old employer settled the discrimination suit for $15,000. Dad finally admitted the truth. His brother Frank had been calling about some genetic thing that ran in our family, women having unusual pregnancies. He'd been too scared to tell me. 6 months after that first ultrasound destroyed my life, Mom showed up at my door with groceries. She didn't apologize, just picked up her granddaughter awkwardly and started doing laundry. She stayed 3 hours, then said she'd come back next week. The truth turned out to be stupidly simple, just weird biology and lab mistakes, but it took destroying my entire life to prove I wasn't lying.